Hey everybody, welcome back to Wiki Sports and welcome back to the Villa. I'm joined as always by the biggest Aston Villa fan in the US, Aaron. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Brian. It's been a long while since we've been on. We had that international break, but we took our own little break.
Yes, you know, been a busy month.
Hmm.
Mostly my fault there. Should have been more, prepared to schedule stuff, but we're back now. That's all that matters. Tell me what we missed.
So where we left off was a little bit of a rainy day parade. We lost at the Carabao Cup, so we're knocked out of that. No big deal because I gave you the prediction of 2-1 against
Mhm.
Brighton that day. We're going
Right.
all the way back to match day 5 or 6. I can't quite remember. But we won 6-1, and then from there we won again against uh, Zerzinski Mostar in the European Conference. We drew against the Wolves, but apparently Wolves are really good at home now. They beat City at home. They drew to us,
Mhm.
and then they beat somebody else too. Nonetheless, Wolves are hard at home apparently. We went and stomped the heck out of West Ham at
Mhm.
home again. The less superior Claret and Blue, 4-1. We
Yes.
beat AZ Alkmaar away 4-1, and we won against Luton Town 3-1 at home.
Yeah, so that was yesterday. So we're caught up. During this stretch, what has really stood out to you? Good, bad, it's all you.
this so I'll give the umbrella for the Prem. The Prem, we have done an extremely good job of being prepared for each match. Um, which is what Unai does. He's a very micromanaged guy, and he knows what he wants his players to be, where they want to be, and where they should be at all times. Our high press has been really well. Our high line and our defense has held really well and gotten a bunch of offside calls for each individual match. Um, they've also scored a ton of goals. The like the amount of goals we put up this past 5 matches for the Prem have put up 14 goals. Now, to put that in perspective, and for the team who's been playing extremely hot and everybody who's been drooling over because, oh my goodness, Harry Kane left and Ange
Mhm.
Postecoglou is the new manager.
Right.
Spurs, I wish I actually had it. That's a little drop on my part, but they put up the same amount of points. They put up 13 points. They
Mhm.
only scored 9 goals, and Villa scored 14, and the goal differential was better. So in that last 5 stretch, Villa are first, playing a better than Newcastle, better than City, better than Arsenal. I mean, it's so fun and crazy to think that Villa can actually potentially be in a Champions League position. And I know it's only October, guys. It's
Yeah,
a few
yeah,
months
yeah.
in, but you can feel the belief in the players. You can feel the belief in the fans that when they're home, and you feel the belief in the coaching staff themselves too. And that's what makes you feel good. Like maybe we might be a step away from Champions League, but we could certainly get into Europa. We can certainly win in the European Conference League. It's just all the pieces are in place right now for this season.
Yeah, I mean, fifth right
Yeah.
now, 4 points behind the one team, which, as you mentioned, the Spurs, which, equally haven't talked to Rat even longer, but I'm sure
Yeah.
he's not thrilled
I'm
that they're on top of
yeah,
Arsenal.
he's a little he when he's got to talk about Ange
Mhm.
and the Spurs, it's like a little there's a little of disgust about it just because of
Yeah.
history, but like you can't not knock Spurs for what they're doing. They're definitely a they were a little more advanced team than Villa right now anyway, but they're definitely stepped up their I can't even think of the right word. They've just stepped it up this year so much better than I think the weight of Harry Kane. But this isn't a
Mhm.
Spurs thing. This is
No.
Villa. But
Yeah. If you
um,
want that, check out the
no,
podcast.
go ahead.
It's-
Please plug.
Yeah. You want more in depth Premier League, other than not just for one team. Swinging at Shins podcast. Check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good too.
Yeah. But yeah, back to Villa. It's not crazy that they are challenging, at least challenging here
Yeah,
for a league or Premier League title.
I
I
mean,
get tripped up on what all these things are
I
called
know there's so
sometimes.
many competitions that Villa are in, which is great. We get the Thursday, Sunday treatment, unfortunately, where
Mhm.
it's now our games are on Sunday because tournament play is Thursday.
Yep.
Maybe it's not unfortunate for other people, but Sunday is kind of like a day that's very much packed now.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But if I'll trade it, honestly,
Mhm.
like if we're in tournaments, I'll take Sundays.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
rather
good.
have the Saturdays though, because then we're in Champions League.
So
But
hopefully coming up, we can
yeah,
cover some of
right.
that.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed they keep riding this high wave. I mean, honestly, um, I'm looking here at FOTMob, and Villa's FOTMob rating is 709, which sets fifth in the league. Just for perspective, Man City and Tottenham are tied at the top with 7.3. Villa per goals per match are 2.6, which are tied with Newcastle. So we're first in that aspect. Um, we give up a little bit of goals, but it's okay. We're scoring still 2.5 goals. We're getting 2 points, almost 2 points per match. Our average possession has been 52%, which is pretty good considering we're not like lazy or slackish with the ball, but we're not afraid to also lose the ball in the other third to try to turn it back over again. Um, our our XG, I don't really care for XG, but I'll say it anyway for the people who like XG. We're at 19.8, which is pretty good considering Liverpool's 22.3 and Newcastle's 22.1. So we're sitting fourth on that. Just the way this team has been playing in the Prem, it's more fluid. You could tell that the players are just so much more excited to be on the pitch. They can anticipate what each player is doing. They're not working just defensive unit, midfield unit, attacking unit. It's one unit, one cohesive. We're gonna like we know how to break down the team. And I had talked earlier about it with on swinging at shins. That Villa seem to have stalled every now and then if Plan A doesn't work. I forget which. I think it was actually against the Wolves match where they just kind of like broke down a little bit. But they've they've figured out how to break teams down in different ways, which is such a advantage for a team to have where if plan A doesn't work, then we can go to plan B or plan C. I mean, we've got Leon Bailey scoring goals, John Duran, who's 19 years old, scoring goals. Um, we've Ali Watkins is back scoring goals like crazy. Musa Diaby, who's it, if he's not the signing of the season, it's Pau Torres, who's playing exceptionally well, slid right into that role when Tyrone Mings got injured, has been playing exceptionally well. Just a lot of players, even with the injuries that we've had, have just stepped up and brought their game to a whole new level. And this is what we expected from Villa 2 years ago with Gerard. And now after seeing a full season with Unai, because the anniversary was like a few days ago too. It's all
Right.
starting to materialize, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Love to see it. And again, don't want to take all the credit for our show helping lift up, but it also is like the 1 year anniversary of the show. So
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, cheers to that, sir.
yes, absolutely. I just got some water, but cheers to
It's
that.
okay. I got
And
cider.
that's much better. But
I
yeah,
mean,
so it's gonna be exciting times as a fan. And obviously very happy for you and very happy, for the show to
yeah.
to be covering that. How are we feeling going into Nottingham Forest? They're quite a ways down the board here. They're
hmm
16th, only 10 points, only 2 wins this season. So, you know, on paper, probably feel good, but I'd love to hear it from you.
Uh, honestly, we should obliterate them. Like, I know they're in the Prem for a reason, and they
Mhm.
survived for a reason. They're resilient at home, and they know how to take giants out. But the way Villa have been playing, and we don't have a European Conference league match this week, even more time to prep for this match. We should honestly we should walk over them. It really should be a 3-1 match, all like Luton Town match here. But if anything less than 3-1, I'm going to be a little annoyed, but I'll take the 3 points as well. At the very least we should win. That's what it should come down to. We shouldn't be losing. I know it's an away match, but we have set a standard that we play at our level. We don't play down to their level anymore. And that's such a big thing for any professional team to get over that hurdle, to find your own groove and stick with your groove. Yes, you have to bend to some standards, but Villa's, they can impose their power on lesser teams. And Nottingham Forest, unfortunately, is a lesser team. And that's not to say that they're not a terrible team. It's just they're a mid-table team. They're not gonna be able to stand up to this.
That all makes a lot of sense to me. Anything else that we didn't get to cover that I didn't ask about that you wanted to bring up on this episode?
The European Conference League that we're currently rolling in. That's okay. That's why you ask these questions. We bring it back up.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me about the European Conference.
Yep, European Conference. Gotta love it. You got the Europa League, and then you got the European
Conference.
Like,
this is a different thing than
I just
want to
cut it, the acronym, and just call it ECF or ECL.
Yeah.
And just, it's too long. And I get it. And I understand why they want to do it. It's because it's more money in the pockets of other lesser teams. Unfortunately, I don't want to call Villa a lesser team, but they did only finish 7th last season, and only saying finishing 7th sounds terrible to say too. But at any rate, I am just blabbing on here. We're going to go to the European Conference League, where we picked up our first home win, any win in general, in the last 13 years against Zerdzinski Mostar, a 1-0 victory. John McGinn saved it in stoppage time from being a draw. It was pretty dramatic, to be honest. The entire stadium just blew up. Like the roof just exploded. It was a fantastic. The match in general, Villa had it in hand. It was just, one of those frustrating matches where it's like, how can we find a way to score, but make it the hardest way possible?
Yeah. What's it called? Like winning difficultly?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Winning difficultly. Yeah. And then we went to AZ Alkmaar at the Netherlands, or Dutch, or however you want to, whatever nation you want to call it.
Sure.
And we walked in there and just said, "You're done." Stunned them. 1-4-1. And it's so critical to win away in these tournaments too, because then you go home and then you beat them at home. So it's so big to win these games away from home just as much at home. If you could take points away, it's a huge step to being a top in your group stage, in your groups.
No, definitely. So we'll see there. Learning new things about all these leagues every episode.
It's a lot. It's
a lot of leagues.
It's a lot of leagues. And the players have every right to complain about fatigue.
Yeah. I would imagine that every couple of years you either got the Olympics or the World Cup, and it's a lot.
And that's why I am fine with them dropping out of the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, because it's just it's a dinky trophy. It really is. It's a dinky trophy. We don't need it. We don't need to be in there. Yes, you get a trophy and you put in your trophy case. But if you ask me, between the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, or even this year with the European Conference, I'm taking the FA Cup or the European Conference over dinky trophy.
Very, very well said. Oh
Yeah.
man. All right. So plug swinging shins. What you got happening? What's going on this week? Floor's yours.
So this week, I haven't really put too much together, but I gotta imagine it's gonna be um, Spurs still rolling because they're doing a great job. Um, Probably Brighton dropping points. They've been a little lackluster lately, and I think Europa Conference League has kind of stunned them a little bit. And Chelsea, are they back? I don't know. They don't really seem like they want to be back.
Yeah. So I also saw someone get suspended for 3 years on the
Oh,
swinging at shin social. So I'm sure you'll talk about that. Don't want to give it away for anyone, you know,
I
who
don't
wants
think
to.
so. I don't think it was 3 years. Well, I don't know now. Who are you talking about? You
I
can
don't
just
know.
you, you can
Am I
throw it.
wrong? Am I making up
Is
fake
it a
news?
player?
No, I thought it was like a manager or
Oh, I have
coach.
no idea then. You know more information than I do, sir.
I just glanced at the Facebook feed. Let me pull it up.
Oh, there's also Everton's financial
Okay.
issues we'll probably dive into.
Luis Rubenales
Oh,
has
oh, Luis Ruben. Oh, he's the
yeah,
Spanish.
FA president.
Yes, he's who kissed Jenny Hermosa
Oh, okay.
at the
Yep.
World
All
Cup.
right. All right. Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
suspended for that. I'm sure you guys will talk about that on the
yeah,
show.
which
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's big news.
Yeah. So go check that out. Of course, always the first link in the description here on Wicked Good Sports. And other than that, anything else you want to plug, Aaron, before we get on out of here?
Don't forget to always go to Wolf's Beer Garden in Albany on Broadway. Um, if you're an Albany Gooners fan, or excuse me, if you're an Arsenal fan, go check out Albany Gooners. Rhett runs the show, and they've got a great atmosphere going on there. Woodsy's Liverpool fan group, they've always been there. They're loud, they're proud, and they love it. And there's also a Man City group down there. So if we have City fans who happen to pop by just to listen to lesser teams, then go right ahead. There's a place for you guys to go hang out together.
Let's love that. Love the Premier League. It's happening here. It's all becoming bigger here in the United States, and that's exciting. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
love it.
Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at the fake BMAR. BMAR. Our channel is on Twitter at We Get Sport. We have a blog, of course, wickedeverythingsports.com. And our main channel is We Get Everything. Our podcast channel is Better Radio, and this channel is Wicked Good Sports. Thank you so much for listening, Aaron. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
We'll see you all in the next one.